Joining me today is an educator and improv expert at Psychology Today. His book is one that I truly think can benefit everyone in the most fun way. Clay Drinko, welcome to the middle.
Thank you so much, Ashley. Thank you.
Of course. Okay, so the book is called Play Your Way Sane, 120 Improv Inspired Exercises to help calm you down, stop spiraling, and embrace uncertainty. So tell me what it's all about.
Yeah, Play Your Way Sane actually comes out of my work in academia. When I was in grad school, I was researching what happens during improv comedy that's different than, what we're doing right here, different than regular acting. And so I was really exploring that and presenting at academic conferences, and I became this so-called expert on improv. And so I knew that improv was great for shifting your focus, helping you connect with people, be a better listener. And I experienced that when I was performing. And then I would stop performing, right? I would be on my way home and I would just be as frustrated and not in the moment and totally in my head as ever. And so for me, there was this huge disconnect between what I knew was possible with improv and what I was experiencing in my everyday life. And so I set out to create something. Really, it started for myself so that I could sort of live these improv principles in my everyday life. So I could feel that feeling of being, in this flow state and connected and not anxious and not worried about making mistakes and more supportive of the people around me and less negative. So I set out to create these games that I could play so that I could experience that in my day-to-day life.
I love improv, and for anyone who has yet to give it a try or take a class, or I think your book is a great way to get yourself immersed in what it is. And also, I love this idea of it helping you not just on the stage or on a professional level. So for someone maybe that has never tried improv and really is no, that's not for me. I'm not an actor, or I'm not a comedian. Explain why that's wrong.
Well, I guess there's two things that I would say. First is I would encourage people to try it because there are more and more studies out showing the benefits of improv, and it's sort of counterintuitive. One of the best things that improv classes do for you is help with anxiety and social anxiety. And to me, that feels like the opposite of what should be true, because it seems like going up in front of people that you don't really know and making stuff up from scratch should be terrifying and
Right.
shouldn't be fun. But it actually works as a kind of exposure therapy so that you do something that normally you would avoid as a socially anxious person, and you actually are rewarded for doing the thing that normally frightens you, right? And it's a totally supportive atmosphere. One of the best things about improv is this idea of having people's backs, supporting people no matter what, making any contribution that they have into a better contribution, right? So if I'm improvising and my partner says something, I have to make it work, right? My job is to make them look amazing. And so it actually is this incredible laboratory to experience this almost magical world where no one's going to say mean things to you. No one's going to roll their eyes. People are really going to support you. And so I think my first thing I would say is I want people to experience that because that's incredible. I think it's great for people for public speaking, for, interview skills, for just general confidence. But also just conversation.
General.
Absolutely.
It's so beneficial. So how often do you, now that obviously you're the expert on this and you have this improv experience, so having written the book, how often do you turn to these exercises to help yourself personally?
Especially now, I have two fairly young kids. I have a 4-year-old and a 6-month-old. And so, and life has never been more uncertain, right? I don't know what's going to happen with the 4-year-old school this year. There's so much to be stressed about right now. And so I turn to them every day. I try to really walk the walk because it's, the Play Your Way Sane isn't saying read this book cover to cover and then you will be cured.
Right.
Right. It is it's a mindset and hopefully a mindset shift for people that you have to do it every day if you want to experience the benefits, just like yoga or meditation, right? You can't just do it one time and it's done. So I do it every day, especially the things that help me calm down, right? And like in lesson 2, or the things that help me shift my focus and be more mindful and present in any situation. And with the girls, I do a lot of mirror exercises, right? If I'm like, daddy, daddy, play with me for the millionth time in a day, right? It's
Yeah.
summer. So like I'm with the girls all the time, I can just mirror them instead of being like, oh, let's do this activity that I found on Pinterest, right? Which can be exhausting. Instead, I can just be in the moment with them and mirror them. And I don't have to worry about having an elaborate activity.
That was my next question. Do you play games with them? I mean, obviously it'd be like unknowingly at this point, but it's so interesting. And I feel like it is a great parenting tool as well. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's just where I'm at right now. I
Yeah.
never set out to write, it's definitely not a parenting book, but
No, but it's just so applicable in
yeah.
so many different facets of life. And I love that. And now, like you said, is such a good time for this book and for people to just find something. It's like it's an outlet. It's something, a mental outlet that I think it should be explored more. So thank you for writing it.
Oh, thank you.
You're in the New York City area, right?
We're a couple hours north of the city. We're in the Hudson Valley.
Okay, so are you missing improv as much as I am, like live shows and doing it, or have you not really been in that space in a minute?
I'm much at this stage of my life, I'm much more interested in applying improv
Okay.
to different things, to parenting, to mental health. In my Psychology Today blog, I write, how people are using improv in prison programs and for, people who have autism. And for me, I'm just sort of nerding out on all the possibilities of improv. And also the writing process itself for me is improv. Like it feels like a performance. My first book was an academic book, and then this one is, I feel like the opposite of an
Uh,
academic book. I'm totally myself. I use language that I use in my real life. I'm not trying to sound smart because I think it's really important that improv is, bringing out your true self. And so I feel like I get that
yeah.
with the writing process. I get all my creativity needs met.
So having done that, what was um sorry, what I was trying to say with the two different types of books that you've written. Now, what's next? Is there another book in you? Is there a sequel to this? Is there more that we can learn, or are you done with the writing?
I am definitely not done with the writing. I have there are some possibilities, there are some ideas. I would love to write a more exclusively relationship book,
Okay.
like how to use these principles in relationships, because I'm someone who um, didn't come to having relationship skills easily. Like I really had to work at it and struggle with it. And so I would love a sort of playful relationship guide. I think that would be fun. But also just I would love to write, what is the state of applied improv today? Like I would love to write something that sort of breaks down how it's being used in so many different ways. And there's so many studies now that are confirming how useful it is. And then like I could see a parenting book. I mean, I
There's so
there's
many options.
so many options. Yeah.
What has the reaction been like since this has been published?
It's been, I think it's been my favorite reaction, I think, is that people felt like I was like revealing the thoughts that were in their head.
Mhm.
I tried to be really vulnerable and open-hearted and forthcoming and candid in the writing of Play Your Way Sane, because I didn't want to write something that was saying, here's your guide, I did this, and now I'm perfect. Like, I really think it's important, especially when you're talking about improv, to be really candid and say, like, this is a process, like, this is messy. And so people have said, like, reading what you wrote was like reading the thoughts in my own head. And so I think people relating to my writing style and my honesty, I think that's been really great. And also people have said, like, I use these exercises and I use them a lot. And so I think for me, that's, of course, that's what I want to hear, right? I created these. I know that they work for me. So to hear that they're really, really working for other people is a huge confirmation.
If it's possible virtually, can we kind of play a game or do an example of one of your exercises?
For sure. I think one that I've been trying to do a lot recently is called Compliment Stew. And there's a lot of different ways that you can do it. For me, I try to give people compliments, sincere compliments throughout the day. So I might say something to the neighbor that's, really positive and sincere. And it just helps me get out of my head and think more altruistically about other people. But what we can do is I like to do like a lightning round.
Okay.
So maybe you could do like 15 seconds where you're sincerely complimenting someone in your life. So it could be a partner, a colleague. So maybe think of someone, it could be someone that you want to be more positive about, maybe, do you know what I mean?
Can I just compliment you right now?
Oh, sure.
Okay. Okay, so, and I just go?
Yeah, 15 seconds.
Okay, I don't do a clock going.
I mean, I'm going to
we'll
estimate.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
I really like your cardigan.
Thank you.
I think your hair and beard and mustache look great together.
Thank you.
I love that you created this book and that you apply it in all aspects of your life, including with your little girls.
That's already time. 15 seconds is not long. Yeah.
That's a lot of compliments. Okay, now you go.
Can I go? Yeah, I have to go. Okay. First of all, I'm always impressed when someone has like a really great background, right? Like you have the flowers and the books are all blue and it's beautiful. Also, you are gorgeous. Like you're stunning and your hair is perfect and you have the necklace. Everything looks great. I also think that what you're doing, like I could see you easily just staying in your, whatever your lane is. Like this is my job and that's it. But what you do to give authors a platform, which I assume is something that like comes from the heart and sort of shows that shows your love of reading. I think that comes through so well. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, a lot of people just kind of stay in their lane or maybe play it safe. And what I see from you is like you have a passion and you use your platform to promote other people and promote things that you're passionate about, which I think is amazing.
That's so sweet of you. Thank you for saying that. I do.
Of course.
I just want everybody to read more. And that was way more than 15 seconds. So
it was. But I want to ask you, as like a teacher, what was it like before you did the compliments versus after for you personally?
Before giving them or getting?
Yeah, giving. Let's do giving.
I think that before, I guess it was like just like a neutral place, and then after, I think it makes me feel good. Like I feel like better, and I feel like more just positive overall. Giving compliments and putting like making someone else feel good makes me feel good.
Yeah, I had the same experience. Like my cheeks, like I felt them getting sore.
Yeah.
Just from like smiling, giving the compliment, and for me, that game sort of embodies what the whole book is about, which is getting out of your head by focusing on other people, and this specifically focusing on positive things, because there's so much negativity in the world. And if we start developing that habit of complimenting people when we think of something great about them, it's super cheesy, but I think those, there are ripple effects to that I think are just so needed right now, and they make us feel good. So it's selfish in a way as well.
No, and I think that's so true. I mean, there's only so much we can do. So if we can make one person smile and like just do something that's kind, like it just goes back to like being a good human, and like that could benefit you too. So
yeah,
do it.
Absolutely.
Be nice, everybody.
Be nice.
Would you ever turn this into a class?
Absolutely. I think I've done like hour-long workshops, 3-hour workshops where I try to sort of speed through all the different lessons. There's 12 lessons, so it's a lot. So I think it works really well as a workshop. I used to do a lot more, obviously a lot more in-person stuff.
Yeah.
And I think Play Your Way Sane lends itself really well to that, because I think to be in a room of people who can have these conversations where they're saying, oh, okay, we did this exercise and this is what it was like, and I could see using it when this happens in my life, or this. I think part of what makes it really effective is talking about, how do you use these exercises? Why do you use them? Which ones work for you? Which ones don't? Because there's 120 exercises. Not all of them are going to work for all the people. Just like in
Sure.
any acting class, any improv class, you
Right.
take what works and you leave what doesn't.
And you like some things better than others. Like I hated some of the warm-ups. I loved some of the other
Yeah.
ones. So yeah, it's like anything, but I love that you put it all in one place, and I love the idea of this. And I think bottom line, for those who do not know, improv is so much fun. So if you have not given it a try, please like just get the book and look into it and see how it benefits all other aspects of your life. What is your Instagram so I can put it up on the screen and people can follow you?
Play Your Way Sane.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. And again, thanks for putting this out there.
Thank you, Ashley. This was great.